Welcome again to Yuhu Education. I am attorney Giselle Ayala. In this video, we're going to talk about some legal issues regarding the use of e-commerce platforms, specifically Shopify. However, these considerations are relevant for any e-commerce or even website builder that you use. Additionally, I will be speaking specifically of trademarks and copyright. There might be additional issues regarding, for instance, patent law. And I will make some comments regarding privacy laws because someone asked about it. So, someone asked about some legal issues or intellectual property issues because this person wants to develop a drop shipping business and service. And they want to do it on Shopify platform. So let's start with a small recap, although if you have seen other videos, you already know. But a trademark, it's a symbol or a word or a logo used to differentiate products or services, in this case, in the marketplace. That means that the first issue that will be encountered is selecting the right trademark. Remember that when it comes to trademarks, we may have word marks, which must be unique. And if you want to know more about strong and weak marks, please make sure to review the video that is up there. But in general, we may select a word mark. What's important that word mark must be unique and must not be substantially similar to others. Remember, when it comes to trademarks, we want to avoid consumer confusion. So you have to be somehow creative on the name of your e-commerce if you're doing that, or for your drop shipping business, for example. So that's the first part, selecting a word mark. You may want to support your business and to distinguish your business with a logo. That logo should also be unique. Remember that there are certain logos that are already in use in the marketplace. So you want to do some clearance search. You want to see like what's going on there, what colors are being used, what logos are being used, so that you select something that is unique, that probably has consistency with the industry, but it's different, so that you can protect this logo before the USPTO, United States Patents and Trademark Office. You can avoid confusion and trademark infringement charges, and you can have a protectable, strong trademark. Now, in regards to copyright, copyright is the protection for creative works, the protection of authors' rights. As a result of that, copyright has the requirement of originality. The work must have some sort of originality, and copyright applies to literary works, to a logo if it's an artistic design, to paints, photographs. For instance, the photographs of your website should be selected carefully. You must protect the rights of those photographers who took the pictures, or you need to acquire rights to use those photographs. You can also take the photos yourself, to sometimes architectural works, among others. So that's the first requirement, originality. The second requirement when it comes to copyright is fixation in a tangible medium. If we have artistic works on digital medium, that complies with the fixation requirement. If you have something recorded, that also means that it's fixed in a tangible medium. It can be perceived. And finally, the third requirement is authorship. Copyright works must have a human origin. That means that the creator must be a human being, even if part of the creative process involves technology, or even if somehow there is artificial intelligence that improves the final result of the work or helps you come up with the work. But remember, the creative process must start with a human being. Hi, this is Giselle Ayala from YoohooPost.com. If you like this video, don't forget to follow, to give us your support, and to click the notifications button so you can get new videos information. Additionally, don't forget to go to YoohooPost.com if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship, art, and other interesting topics. And when it comes to copyright, we are thinking about that we cannot copy other authors, other websites, photos, artwork, or design. We have to come up with our own design. Of course, remember that originality is a requirement. So if you have, for instance, websites that are based on templates, that they are not specifically original, but they have a template because that is a functional way to actually have certain website, that will be okay. The use of templates for purposes of building a website, that's not pretty original. And when it comes to copyright, functionality, it's a limitation. If something is necessary to make a work or to make some technology work, it cannot be protected under copyright law. Remember also that we are not talking here about patent law. That might be a different discussion. Now, how is that related to the use of platforms like website builders or Shopify? These websites will have their own terms and services. That means the contract you accept it when you go online, you log in, and you use the service. You are entering into a contract. And this kind of contract is what it's called browse wrap agreements, because if you are browsing, if you are using the website, or use agreements too, if you are using that website, you must accept the terms of use or the terms and conditions of the website. If you don't want to comply with them, you cannot use the website, basically. Now, let's talk about specifically Shopify. Shopify, like many other platforms, has terms of service, and they have certain provisions regarding intellectual property. So Shopify, it's clear that whatever you upload, it's yours. They say anything you upload remains yours and it's your responsibility. But Shopify can use and publish the things you upload. Anything uploaded to Shopify remains the property and responsibility of its initial owner. However, Shopify will receive a license of materials published through our platform. Of course, if you are you are submitting works, if you are uploading photos to Shopify, well, you are using their service. And if they want to probably advertise how good they are and the great things that others can accomplish with their service, probably they might use your website as an example. So it is understandable that you are granting them the right to somehow use your work. Now, this is also important for you to understand that if you are using something that is owned by another party, another author's work, another photographer's work, you should make sure you are authorized to use that material on your website, because you may encounter trademark infringement in some cases, copyright infringement lawsuits, or controversies, and you may even be in violation of the terms of use. And remember, Shopify, like any other platform provider, they have to comply with certain laws like the Copyright Digital Millennium Act. And if they discover infringement, they probably have to and will close your website. Now, regarding other important aspects of intellectual property, Shopify also speaks about what you can or you cannot do on their website. That's why they include this. We do not claim ownership on your materials. However, we have a license. We already talked about that. And here also say that Shopify has its own intellectual property. And then this is a clause that it's important for you to remember. You agree that you may not use any trademarks, logos, service marks of Shopify, whether registered or unregistered. So they also have their own intellectual property, and you have to be careful how you use it. If you're only using the Shopify word to explain that your website is built on Shopify, that's fine, that's a fair use. You are not really appropriating that trait. But if you use the Shopify to actually promote yourself, you might be in a situation of trademark infringement, false endorsement, among others. So, what's important to consider when it comes to Shopify or any other websites to start a service or to go into the e-commerce market? One, that you have to come up with your own trademark, and you need to think about a trademark that is unique. Do your research before selecting a trademark. Two, that there is something called copyright, which protects the works of authors. So if you're going to use drawings, pictures, literary materials on your website for whatever reason, make sure you have authorization of the original author or you have acquired the right to use those materials. Third, remember that any website has its own terms and conditions, so you should understand what they say and what you can or you cannot do. And finally, when it comes to privacy laws, what you should consider. Well, we cannot really go too deep into that, but first, these websites also have a privacy policy, and probably they are collecting information all the time. They have probably technology that collects what you do on the website and what other users that go to your store do on the website. Probably you should include something like that in your own privacy policy. Regardless of that, You should have a clear idea of what information you are actually acquiring for users of your website or for potential consumers. You should also collect the minimum necessary information. This is very important. Personal identifying information, you should not collect it unless your service requires that and you have take proper measures to protect that information. Two, you should also be clear about not only what information you're actually collecting, but where is that information stored, who has access to that information, and what are you going to do with that information. Additionally, if you create a contact form, you should make sure that the user somehow has to accept those terms and conditions. Maybe because the link is there exposed and it's colored and it cannot be ignored because it's clear, it's conspicuous, or maybe because before they actually submit a contact form or they provide information, they have to click on a square accepting or any other action that you can ask the consumer to take before sending that form will keep you in a safe place. So that's important when it comes to privacy. There might be additional requirements specifically for a certain industries, age depending, the user, depending the age, among others. So I hope this video clarifies for you what are some of the intellectual property issues and somehow privacy issues when it comes to creating a business online on a website or going into an e-commerce. My name is Giselle Ayala. I am an attorney. If you have any questions, please leave it here and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and give us your support. Bye bye.